Foo Fighters. All my life on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant, and Karl Pilkington.
Indeed.
Genius Karl Pilkington, as Heat magazine said.
Really? Is that what you refer to now?
Yeah, yeah. Genius. Saying about people tune in just to hear his games, such as Educating Ricky. Have you got some Educating Ricky for me?
Got some education.
I need some education, Karl. I desperately need some education. I want to learn about Chinese kids that are born hairier than average. I want to hear about deaf girls that can hear after their mum hits their head against a wall. These are the things I need to know.
I mean, I don't wish to be disrespectful. He doesn't look like a genius.
He doesn't look like a genius.
But then I don't know what a genius looks like.
Exactly.
So,
Steve.
you know, I don't want to be an
look at Einstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His mum thought he was mental as a child.
Where'd you get that information from?
That was in the Einstein book.
Well, it was in the Einstein book, then it's really true.
Which Einstein book is that? His Theory of Relativity?
The big book of Einstein stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the big bumper book of Einstein stuff. It's for a coach trip, and you have to fill in, E equals MC1 squared, 2 fish, or 3 hello, and then it's multiple choice, and you fill it. It's great. It's
Did his mum think, A, he was a genius, and B, mental?
Most people go for A, but it is in fact B. She thought he was mental at the age of 28. Oh, Karl, you never let me down. You never let me down. So have you got Educating Ricky for me?
We've got Educating Ricky coming up.
We've got Rockbusters.
We've got Rockbusters.
Great
as seen and talked about in Heat.
In Heat magazine.
It's got really tough this week now. We're not messing about anymore.
Right.
Got some good prizes.
Absolutely, yeah, we'll talk about those later. Because, I mean, was it last week that you had the classic? Was it, I can't remember, I'm paraphrasing, Karl, apologies. Something like, I'm here in Texas, I've fallen in a puddle, and my knee has got wet.
Yeah. Wet Knee Houston.
Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Also, it was last week when there was a little bit of confusion over the one for Holly Valance. Right?
Of course. I don't think it was confusion, I think it was your error.
No, it wasn't.
And it was Holy Valance, and you meant Pelmet.
Then Becky, who called up that time and said, oh, if you're getting mistaken with Pelmet, right, she sent me an email in a week saying, I've done a bit of research. It was my fault, I've made an error. It is a Valance.
Okay.
And I know about Valances, as I told you last week, at the very end, my auntie loves them. Yeah. Right? She makes them. She started off just like putting them on top of the, sort of window around the curtain. And then she thought, oh, I can do more with this. And she had a little coffee table that had magazines underneath, and she said, I'm sick of seeing them magazines when I'm sat down.
She sounds like a Pilkington.
I'm sick of seeing the magazines when I sit down.
So she put a Valance around the table.
She just got Valances around everything now.
Then, next step, she tapes everything. She never actually watches telly, she tapes it all. Because she gets sick of listening to the adverts and that. So she tapes everything, so she's got loads of videotapes and that. And the video used to get on her nerves. When she was watching a film, she'd see the clock changing. And it distracted her from the film, so she put a Valance around that.
That's genius!
So,
that is really...
Or is it mental? Only Mrs. Einstein can tell.
I don't know. She's even made a little, Jack Russell look like a hovercraft. It's great.
So everything's got a Valance.
If you go round and you stand still for too long, the chances are you'll get a Valance around your head.
This is this is Auntie who?
Auntie Nora.
And this is the one that farted for 5 minutes. Lest our listeners forget. Farted for 5 minutes, called his mum, saying I'm farting. 2 minutes into the fart.
She said about 2.5 minutes in.
You said I'm about 2.5 minutes into the
my mum said, how long's it been going on for? And she said, well, it was about 2.5 minutes before I called you. And then it went on for a further 2.5 minutes or something. And then it stopped.
She couldn't time it because there was a Valance over the clock.
She
used to annoy her when she was on the phone and you put her off seeing the time. She was guessing it was 5 minutes.
This was one consistent fart?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't making a noise, it was just...
Oh, it wasn't making a noise?
Just gas.
Right, endless gas.
That's fantastic. Before we started off with a new one, a little bit of Foo Fighters. We like new and old on this show, don't we?
Indeed, we like to mix it up.
I'd like to play the Smiths from their debut album, I Don't Owe You Anything. I Don't Owe You Anything. The lads from Carl's hometown there.
Indeed.
The Smiths. Brilliant, that one. Wow, I went to Manchester, didn't I, the other day? Went up to Manchester for a little corporate. It was alright. He went, wait till you get out, you see Piccadilly, it's better than Euston. Right. It was, you know, it was nicer. I went outside and there was a ridiculous queue, and sort of one cab.
Right, yeah.
So,
horse-drawn.
yeah, and so I walked, and it was okay, it was only down the road, it was a bit dark, it was wet and raining.
Obviously, it's the north.
I know, the hotel was very nice, but no minibar. I've never seen that before. I've travelled all over the world to see them in a hotel without a minibar.
No,
so I don't know what's going on then, I don't know what's going on there. And then I did this corporate gig in Old Trafford. The pitch was up, I don't know what they were doing, but, you know, very impressive, big impressive. I think they're the British football club, aren't they, Carl?
Yeah.
You did a gig at where?
Old Trafford. It was in a function room.
Oh, well, I thought it was the stadium.
No, I'm not that big yet. No. But I mean, you know, I can't really comment on Manchester. I do know that Liverpool was voted most important music city by a poll.
True enough.
Carl, you're making noises while I'm talking.
Yeah, but you do this all the time trying to wind me up. And I'm not saying Manchester's the best place in the world, but what I'm saying is, there's bits of it that I really miss.
Yeah.
Like last Sunday, right? When I'd met up with Ricky, we had spaghetti bolognese, which was alright. And then I said to him, I need some soil.
Damn, I wish you'd invited me, it sounds amazing.
So I need some soil, what do you think?
You need some what, soil?
Soil, yeah.
I need to repot a plant, right?
Yeah.
So,
you need to repot a plant?
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
So, I'm like, where, you can't see these shops in London. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing around.
I took him straight to one in my street.
Yeah, but near your street, and that's probably the only one in London.
Well, you say that, Carl.
No, it does annoy me. Round my way, it's like, you know...
You can't move for soil shops.
There's earth, you can just pick up handfuls walking down the street.
Yeah, incredible. People just lean over into someone's front garden. No, you can take the plants as well.
No, but what I'm saying is, Manchester, there's loads of decent hardware shops.
Yeah.
Here, you know, if you want a panini and a latte or whatever, you can't move from. But for soil, I had to go virtually how many miles away from me to carry that soil home and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not good. I mean, London's alright, but if cities were sort of...
It's neglecting the peat market, really,
well, there's barely any mulch available in central London.
I'm sick and tired of not getting a good decent compost of a Sunday.
Indeed.
So, you know, I'm thinking of moving to the north. Where there is loads of soil and gravel.
Indeed.
And animal shite.
Whatever.
Yeah, so you were going to say, if you're marking cities out of 10, what would you give London?
Well, if you were marking them on, like, you know, on what they have.
Right. As opposed to what?
Well, as opposed to...
How you spell it.
Say, like, I think the greatest city in the world is Rome. Right, okay. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Have you been?
What, yeah, why do you think that, though?
Just because, like, you turn a corner and there's something there that's really old. Right. Like, you're going down a normal street.
go and stay in a Derby and Joan club.
Yeah. No, but it's like, you're going down the road, and then you turn a corner, and like the Colosseum's in the middle of a busy road. It's like, what's that doing there?
Yeah.
And just when you think there's no more, you turn another corner.
It's almost as if that was there first.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah. But, do you know what I mean? London.
Yeah.
What have we got? You know, Trafalgar Square's world known. And you go there, what's there?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, there's a lot of space there. Get one big B&Q.
In Trafalgar Square.
To cater for the whole of people who live sort of central Londonish.
Yeah.
And then I'd be happy, but what I'm saying
with Nelson just popping up through the middle? Because you can still see it, couldn't you?
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
So B&Q could be like the whole sort of flat thing, and make it sort of grey so it looked like rock, and then Nelson popping up...
Make it classy is what you're saying.
Yeah. Stone clad it. Yeah. So it looks like you've made an effort.
Exactly.
And then you can pop in, and then you can go out and go, oh look, Nelson's column. Oh look at that, isn't Nelson, oh look at that, the victory, defeat, that's fantastic, one of the greatest living. I need some nails.
Yeah. Perfect. Killing two birds with one stone, you say?
But why isn't there more than them shops? Because when I went into yours, every time I've been in there twice now. The first time was to get a shower head, right?
Right.
And I went in there, couldn't resist buying something else, I ended up getting some super glue as well.
Hey, big spender.
And then, last Sunday we went in there, got 2 bags of soil, not one, I bought 2. And I bought some scissors to cut plants with.
Secateurs.
Well, you never know when you want, you know, you might need more soil, I suppose.
Well, I've got
You've stocked out now. Where'd you keep it under your bed?
Sorry, this isn't going out, is it, this conversation? It's not going out on air.
I got a feeling it might be.
You're joking. We better play a record.
Okay.
Play a classic. Hives.